Hi! What's up? It's Kendall. Oh, lemony.
Hello, if you're new around here, welcome, join the family, hit the subscribe button, yada yada yada. If you're not new around here, what is up, home skillet? Biscuit. So you guys asked me to do more reviews on products that I enjoy, K-beauty things that I enjoy, and just beauty products in general that I enjoy, favorites videos, what have you. So I figured I would like just a little tickle that little nerve and actually do a favorites video on some of my favorite Korean K-beauty, on my favorite eyeshadow palettes from Korean brands. Korean eyeshadow palettes kind of get a bad rep, and I will say, yeah, I was one of those people that really perpetuated that stereotype that Korean eyeshadow palettes kind of suck. And here's the thing, I don't take it back, really. Like, a lot of Korean eyeshadow palettes that I've tried have been rough. But I do notice that if you kind of take yourself away from the cheaper road shop brands, the quality is like a complete 180. It's a completely different like ball game you're talking about when you start using kind of more expensive Korean brands. So I don't take it back, because the Etude House palette I tried, not the ones that are made of like single shadows, those are bomb, but the like pre-made palette, Jesus. Today we're gonna introduce some palettes, talk about, you know, what my favorite ones are, ones that you could possibly pick up, you know, like maybe you like it, maybe you don't, it's cool. Do some swatches, talk about pros and cons and all that jazz. Let me take my watch off, because how am I gonna do the swatch with a watch on? I rhymed, oh my god. But before we get started, hi, I'm Kendall. You should have like hit the subscribe button already, like what? Come on.
We are the cutest little family around here. We're just as squishy as baby butt, and you should join us.
So first, I guess I should refer to the eyeshadow on my eyes today. What am I wearing? What am I working with? Well, this palette from 3CE. These are two of the palettes from the newest Mood Recipe collection. I have been very vocal about my love of 3CE as a brand overall. I feel like of Korean brands, it's definitely, if not my favorite, one of my favorites, simply because it just really goes out of the box, not just for K-beauty brands, but just brands in general. I feel like they just really are able to push the envelope and do new and weird kind of colors, but still make it work in a very like stylized and sophisticated way. They're everything. They're my teas. I just love everything about the 3CE aesthetic, Style Nanda aesthetic. It's just everything for me. I really enjoy it. And when they came out with the Mood Recipe in particular, it's just like, it's mauves, it's rose golds, browns and taupes and tans, and the eyeshadow that I have on my eyes right now, let me scoot you a little closer so you can see what's all going, because it's really pretty. Like, you see the shimmer in the light? I got mascara on my eyelid. That's cute. Ignore that, we'll just put the eyelash over it. So this is the Plot Twist palette from 3CE. I just used kind of this middle shade as an all over shade, a little bit of this kind of shimmery brown all over the lid, and then topped it with this kind of topper color right here, this foiled shadow to give me some shimmery life there. I'm gonna just pop a little bit on with my finger because I can.
Yes.
So that's that palette, and then this is the Overtake palette. It's a similar kind of thought process, except it's a lot more rosy, and they're just really pigmented in comparison to other Korean eyeshadow palettes that I've used. I just feel like that tends to be something that's quite lacking in a lot of less expensive Korean brand. If you do like a larger eyeshadow palette, the consistency sucks. And I understand some people want to do a wash of color, but it doesn't even effectively do a wash of color. You can't even get it on the brush half the time. It's just so frustrating. These are just some quality friggin' shadows. One qualm that I have, this isn't just 3CE, but just anyone that does shadows like this. 3CE tends to throw in like a random shadow, and this one, I think is it this one? Yes. They'll have these random like matte shadows with glitter in it, if that makes sense. I don't understand this. When I think of mattes, I think of, you know, the usability in the crease, but if it has glitter in it, how do I use it in the crease without the glitter like flying off? At which point, why put glitter in it? I mean, if it's something you want to play around with, I'm still like playing around trying to figure out what to do with that, but otherwise, all the other shadows seem to make sense to me. They're either fully matte, they are a shimmer with glitter in it. Topper, eyeshadow topper, that's what we call it. But yeah, these are just really good quality palettes just in general. There is one more palette, but it's all matte and it looks mad boring personally. But if you want something that's even more understated, especially if you have a lighter skin tone, I feel like that one would be really, really flattering. Next are palettes from Chosungah, particularly, well, Chosungah in general makes really good eyeshadows, but particularly those in the 16 brand line. This is the Brickit Shadow Hit 10 Choco palette. First of all, it's so slim, it's so small, it's easy to carry around and stuff, and it's in the shape of a chocolate bar. Like, I mean, that's friggin' adorable. I need to put my glasses on. I feel like I'm ruining the aesthetic, but there you go. But yeah, and then you have this palette. I feel like value-wise, it really ranges from very, very, very light to a matte black. And I feel like if palettes can really do that full range of color and have that nice like in-between transition, it already gets like halfway there for me, because that's really important. I don't want looks that can't go as deep as I want it to go or as light as I need it to go in certain places. And also it has just a nice mixture of mattes and creams and shimmers. There are no like mattes with glitter in it, thankfully. I find those shades just really weird in eyeshadow palette, but I just feel like it's a really quality eyeshadow palette, but it's just a really good everyday neutral palette that you can just make really subtle but really pretty looks out of. This is the Brickit Shadow Hit 10 Candy Rock, the candy cane unicorn version of the other palette. Basically, if you just want hella colors that you just want to figure out cool ways to mash them on your face, or potentially use this with other shadows, then this would be a good palette for that. Usually for palettes like this, when I feel like I have to use other shadows with it or other things with it, I get annoyed because they're usually quite big, but since this one's so small, it's not going to take up a bunch of space to have this and maybe one or two other shadows to use in conjunction with this. They have these like really nice bronze colors that can kind of settle down any of this like pastelness, and despite it being pastel, it actually shows up on my skin tone, and I feel like it would show up on most people's skin tone. You know what? The thing I'm thinking about, if you have very, very dark skin, this would look bomb. Can you just imagine walking around looking all ethereal and rich with like cotton candy pop on the eyes? Oh my god. Damn it. Gotta wait till I get a tan. This is just like, it just looks delicious. It looks edible. It looks like gumdrops and happy times. And I just, also the quality is there. These are all either a satin or a shimmer. I don't think I've ever seen a palette with this color layout. And I just love it. Chosungah gets a big thumbs up from me. Next is Pony Effect. I've had quite a few of Pony Effect's palettes, and I've noticed the issue of consistency. I feel like some palettes are some are just better than the others. But beyond that, I feel like some just make more sense than the others. I really find that her Pony Effect Master Eye palette is the most useful for me, in the sense that I've had other palettes where I like one shade out of the entire palette. For instance, Pony Effect That Girl Fever Shadow palette. If you note, I only have one shadow that I was like used a whole lot. I really liked that one shadow, and I have not used this palette at all since then. The rest of these just don't make much sense to me. Even like how I would add another shadow to make this make sense, it's a weird palette. And then I bought the other two versions of this palette. They're nice, kind of useless. But I feel like the Matte Master is the most user-friendly. It's the most cohesive. Again, it has like a nice value of lights to darks, you know, mid-tones that I can find that would be quite useful. First of all, Pony Effects packaging is on point at all times. Like literally always on point. Other than my fingerprints getting this all dirty, but that's not Pony Effects' fault. That's because I'm a mess, sis. But it's just very sleek, it's very compact, it's very easy to travel with. You have this big old mirror here that's really good for if you're on the go. And then, you know, just really well-made, solid packaging. And then the eyeshadows, they're all matte. You know, it all makes sense. Even these like kind of interesting purple and green colors kind of seem out of nowhere, but I find that they're not strange in the actual usage of the palette. Because this purple is like a blackened purple, I can still just use it to deepen up the crease, and no one's gonna be like, you're wearing hella purple eyeshadow. Kind of these colors right here, just like very everyday. Maybe this color as well. Actually all of these except the green and the purple. Except the green, to be honest with you. Your everyday, work appropriate, easy to wear kind of shadows, but it has that nice little interesting pop of color. And beyond that, pigmentation is phenomenal. It's actually very blendable, very buildable, very quality eyeshadow. So I really like this. So over any of the other versions of this palette, the shimmer palette, there's a pastel one. I say skip those. I feel like this one is the most purpose. Next we have Heimish palettes, the Brick Brown palette, but I've swatched and played with so many at this point of the Heimish palettes, and they all kind of run the same consistency. This has a pretty good array of light to darks. I think it needs a little bit more mid-tones in here. It's like if this was a little bit richer, this one over here, it would make more sense to me, but you know, nothing that would like in my life over. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 matte-ish colors, then 1, 2 satin matte with shimmer in it. Another one of these weird, I don't know why this is a thing. Like this isn't just Korean palettes. I've seen this in American palettes too, and I'm just like, why? And then one like glitter topper, and every time I use that glitter topper, I either just put it on with my fingers or I put it on with the NYX glitter primer, and to make it like very opaque, so it's like straight up glitter on my eyes, and people are always like, what is that? That is so pretty. Is this? As always, I'm not gonna put a palette on here that doesn't have good pigmentation, looks good, shows up well on my skin tone. So this one's really, really good. I want to buy more of these. The packaging isn't as cute though. This packaging is kind of ugly. So if that was like one note I had to give to Heimish, not that they're watching, but if they are watching, I'd prefer different packaging personally. It doesn't feel cheap at all. Like it has a nice weight, but it looks cheap. It looks like kitty, and it's too expensive to look like kitty. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Okay. So last but not least is a palette that I have crapped on in the past, okay? And what's funny is that I was planning on doing a whole thing of like full face of products I hate, and I was filming that video, was gonna use this eyeshadow palette, and realized this is a really good palette. Why don't I like this palette? This is the Nature Republic Pro Touch Color Master Shadow Palette. I would like to say a sincere, from my heart, apologies to Nature Republic. I talked mad crap about this palette. It does not swatch well, so I'm gonna put up some swatches. I'm not gonna swatch every color, but it does not swatch well. It also does not apply well if you're a fan of doing like the concealer and then putting powder over your lid. That was my mistake. That was the mistake I made. Sorry. This is a palette that needs to be on a tacky base. It needs to be on a traditional eyeshadow primer. But when you do that, it's 30? Wow, my math. 30 eyeshadow palette. Easily the largest Korean eyeshadow palette that I own, but they're these very tiny like rings of color, which is fine, to be honest. How often do you go through an eyeshadow? Never. Me, I don't think I've literally ever went through an eyeshadow in anything that I own. Mostly mattes in this area, except for this bad boy. Actually, it's mostly mattes overall. One kind of shadow topper, which is a dual chrome pinky color, one gold shimmer, and like some satins in this area. For the most part, there's not a whole lot of variance in texture, which I personally don't mind, as long as there's a substantial amount of dark colors, light colors, and then mattes somewhere in there to make it workable. This palette is bomb, and I feel bad. I feel so bad because I like crapped on it, because it's not the cheapest palette either. And Nature Republic isn't particularly a expensive brand. Overall, it's considered to be a rather inexpensive road shop brand, particularly with skincare as well. But when I saw this and they were like $40, like 40,000 won, I'm like, for Nature Republic? What the hell? Then got it and realized like, it's not even blending. It's mad patchy. What is going on? My bad. The shadows are good. Only thing as far as like workability, because these little pans are so small, you have to use quite small brushes to get in there. And if you're trying to blend, you use a larger brush generally to disperse color. So in that sense, that is a little hard to work with. But as far as like pigmentation and actual quality on the eye, I am sorry. That's all I have to say. It's a really good palette. And that's all today, folks. Just a quick one, a little something to wet your whistle. If you like this video, don't forget to like this video, because apparently that matters these days. Follow me on all my social media. Snapchat is dead, sis, and I've said that forever, but I joined a Snapchat because y'all wanted me to be on Snapchat. So don't follow me on Snapchat. I don't even have it on my phone. Don't follow me on Snapchat. But if you want to follow me on Twitter or on Instagram, that is always both KennieJD. Before you do any of that, if you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Why are you ruining this for both of us? We both belong in this. We both deserve this. We both deserve to be happy, okay? You're beautiful on the inside and out. And I deserve a subscription. So, like, it's free. Come and join the family. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.